Howdy everyone, welcome to the channel where we go in search of wildlife photography. I'm Doug Wallace. So I'm just new again to wildlife photography, just started back in May of this year in 2022. And I've been posting some of my images on social media, and I've had several people reach out wanting to know how I'm getting the wildlife photos that I am. So it kind of inspired me to start this YouTube channel, named it ISO Wildlife Photography, but it really means in search of. So anyways, I already done a video about how I come up with the name. So I'm going to start documenting my forays when I go out and drive around to get wildlife photos. So that's what we're going to start here today. It's going to be July 15th and 16th on a Friday and Saturday. And I'm just new to this again, but on Friday, July the 15th, it was a pretty epic day for me, and one that isn't lost on me, probably will never be repeated again. I found several hawks on this day. I ended up with 2,300 images on Friday, and 1,500 of those were of two different hawks in the same area. They were paired up together along a gravel road in a power line where they'd just done some clearing. There was a couple of brush piles there. So I don't know if this was a mother-father deal or what the relationship was with these two hawks, but they really didn't care that I was around. I was able to capture a lot of images, and I'm just hitting the buffer after buffer after buffer, you know. But I've had a few days to think back on that experience, and it's really dawning on me that chances of that repeating itself with wild hawks or any type of wildlife just isn't going to come around very often. May never happen again in my lifetime. But it has dawned on me I have a couple of regrets from that day, because the Canon 90D will also video, and I had plenty of time. I should have hit the record button and got some video. It would have been really nice to hear these two birds screeching back and forth, talking to each other. They'd been pretty cool to share with you guys. And then the other thing is the in-flight or action shots there. Since I had so much time, you know, I've said before, I run my ISO on auto up to 3200 just because well, I've explained it before, you know, my style of shooting, riding around, the lighting switches so often, so it's just easier for me to just control my shutter speed. But what I could have done that day, since I had so much time, in some of these images you're going to see the wingtips are got some motion blur in them. If I'd have taken the time and not let the moment really get to me there and not think clear-headed, I could have ran my shutter speed up to 2000 probably, and then ran the ISO up to 6400. And I'm positive those images would have cleaned up very well through DxO Pure Raw, because the week before I came across an owl just 30 feet outside the driver's side window of my truck, and I was able to get a lot of shots of that owl. And my best shots were actually at ISO of 12,800, and my shutter speed was 1/60th of a second, and I believe the f-stop on that day was 5.6. But anyways, it dawned on me now a few days later, I could have probably done some things if I didn't let the heat of the moment get to me, where I could have had better action shots at what I ended up with. But anyhow, that's my story. Come along with me for July 15th and July 16th as I go in search of wildlife photography. All right, everyone, good morning. Thought I'd start documenting my forays here. Been having a lot of people ask how I've been getting my wildlife photos, so no secret, I really just go out and drive the gravel roads. But one thing I do pay attention to is, you know, the sun comes up in the east and sets in the west, so on morning drives I try to hit all the gravel roads that go west, right? So that way I'll have the sun at my back, and hopefully I'll end up with a good lighted subject and be able to get photos, good photos that way. That's just the way I typically do it. You know, I'm also thinking about changing the name of the channel. I called it ISO Wildlife Photography, which really stands for In Search Of. You know, but that's quite a long name, and I'm thinking I may switch the channel name to the Wildlife Gallery. So let me know what you all think about that name there. Looking out the back of my rear view mirror here, I got a big dump truck coming up behind me pretty fast. There's on this road here, there's a rock quarry just down the road here. So but the reason why I came down this road here first off this morning is got a stubble wheat field right down here. It's 6:55 a.m. here in central Missouri, so still a good time to catch birds flying in and out of this stubble wheat field. You may even catch some coons. Right now there's crows in this thing. Got a bunch of pigeons right up here. That'd be cool to get some shots of. There they take off. But I got these gravel trucks right behind me, daggone it. And this, that would have been perfect right there to get pictures of those pigeons on this stubble wheat field. So I may circle around and come back and see if I can't get pictures of those there, but that's an opportunity that's going to be lost this morning, and you're just going to have a lot of that to deal with as well out here on the gravel roads. You know, this is probably really bumpy. You know, seeing this big dust cloud behind me. Another thing I try and pay attention to is wind direction. You know, so I'm just passing this rock quarry. Those big trucks will go in there, and I know of a couple other stubble wheat fields. Maybe there'll be some pigeons down here and I won't have to turn around. You know, but here in central Missouri we haven't had any rain, and gosh, to speak of, for 2 months really. So the gravel road's quite dusty. Got a guy coming at me right now. You know, this is the best time to get pictures, but you're gonna end up with a lot of this where even if there is something, you're not going to be able to stop and get a picture because the other traffic here, people are headed to work, people headed to a rock quarry, that type of stuff. Got a coyote in the road up here. He's not going to stand long enough for me to get a picture of him, which is fine. He looks pretty shaggedy anyhow, so I don't need a picture of him. There's a bunch of hay bales right here. That'd be perfect to catch a coyote sitting on, or a hawk, something like that, you know. Anyways, what I was talking about wind direction is, you know, with all this dust, if you do find something you want to take a picture of, you stop. You know, I'm headed west, so if we had an east wind and I was to stop, all that dust behind me is going to come right over you and really ruin your shot. So sometimes you got to pay attention to how fast you're driving, so that you don't, if you have to stop and the wind's out of the east like that, maybe you can still get a shot, or you just have to let that dust cloud get past you, and hopefully it clears out fast enough for you to still get your shot that you're wanting to take. But man, I wish them trucks hadn't have come by. Those were some white and gray pigeons. There was a white and black one there. That'd been really pretty this morning, flying over that stubble wheat field. But this is how I get most of my pictures. Yeah, there's another stubble wheat field up here. You know, here in central Missouri, July 15th, a lot of hay's been cut already, and those big round hay bales out in the pastures, that's a really good spot to find owls and hawks. Owls predominantly going to be right at daylight on those, and then they're going to head off to the timber as soon as light gets up. The hawks, up till about 10 a.m., you'll still catch them setting out doing their morning hunts. And the hawk pictures I've been getting lately, that's how I've been getting them. There's some turkeys right here. With poults. That's good to see there, guys. I'm hitting the buffer. There's 3 hens and I don't know how many poults, but there was quite a few poults right there. Well, just like that, guys, driving down the road, I took a lot of pictures right there. Hopefully some of those turn out. 3 adult hens and looked like maybe a dozen poults, up to a dozen. I don't know that there would have been a dozen, but close to that. All right, well, first pictures of this Friday morning just happened to be 3 hen turkeys and up to a dozen chicks right there. Pretty cool. A friend and I were just talking the other day. He asked how many hens I'd seen, and this week I've seen 7, 8 hens before I saw these here, and none of the others have had any chicks with them or poults. This is the first poult I've seen this week out riding around taking pictures. So I'd have preferred those turkeys to be on my driver's side window instead of out this way here. I would have had more light on them. They were in a creek bottom there. Not sure how they'll turn out. My meter on my Canon 90D there, I always pay attention to it. I keep my screen flipped in because it seems like my nose is always activating that thing and changing settings. So I leave that closed. But anyhow, I pay attention to my meter when I'm looking through there to see if I need to adjust my shutter speed. And again, I'd like to have more light right there. So I'll probably have to lighten that up in processing. If any of them turn out. I'm sure you could hear the shutter speed there. I hit the buffer several times. So with that Canon 90D and the card that I use, I end up somewhere between 15 and 18 shots, excuse me, before I hit the buffer there. So I hit it 2 or 3 times. And so I got several pictures. We'll see if any of those turn out. So we're headed towards this stubble wheat field. Here's another little hay field. It's got 2 or 3 big round bales in it. I don't see anything there. I got a Monotol Creek off to my left. Soybean field here that's just coming up. That'd be a good spot to catch a deer at of an evening time. Man, I'm really dreading I didn't get any pictures of them pigeons on that stubble wheat field. That good yellow glow right there and those white birds going across it would have looked pretty neat this morning. Those pigeons are right there because of the rock quarry. So, and the way that sets up, it wouldn't be any good of an evening time because the way the sun's going to hit that there, be too shadowed out. I don't see anything over this stubble wheat field. But I put a lot of miles on, guys, of a morning time. Typically I'll drive between 25 and 50 miles, which is quite a lot. This day and age, you got $5 of fuel, and if you're like me and you're just out doing it as a hobby, you're not getting paid for it anyhow, so it's quite expensive to be out here running around taking photographs. But you can road hunt this way and not get in trouble for it. You can do all the shooting you want. You're on a county road, so you can shoot all the wildlife you'd like from the road with the camera. Keep that in mind. Don't be using a gun. You can't be doing that. That'll get you a winning ticket. This direction here, I've got good light coming back to the east here. Naturally, I'm headed west, like I said earlier, but off to the west is really, really dark skies. Looks like it could be raining that direction. So that's probably headed this way. I have my 1.4 extender with me this morning, but I probably won't use it. That thing really runs your f-stop up too, and I've just been finding out you can get closer with the subjects with that thing on, but I end up with a lot more soft shots than I do sharp shots, and you just got to have really, really good light. So in the middle of the day, that thing really shines. If you can find something you want to take a picture of, whatever it is, you know, for my camera, my 90D, if I set it on f9, 10, 11, I'll end up with really good, sharp, crisp shots. Probably pull my Garmin down here and just kind of show you another spot here. I'll be coming around a corner, and there's a bunch of hay bales right there, right along the stubble wheat field. So this would be another really good place to catch birds. Let me show it to you. Right there, guys. So anyways, nothing there today, but that'd been a good spot to catch a bird of prey, a hawk or an owl, coyote, fox, something like that. They like to hunt around those hay bales. You got a stubble wheat field there. There's going to be a lot of mice in that field. So, and that's what those animals are hunting for primarily. So just nothing there as I'm rolling by it this morning. You can bet sometime today there'll be a coyote, a fox, or a bird of prey around those hay bales looking for mice. You can count on that. Your timing just has to be right, and that's why I drive 25 to 50 miles. Some days, like yesterday, man, I drove 53, 54 miles yesterday. Ended up with one hawk picture, a redbird picture, one fawn, a single fawn that was out in a weed field. The weeds was up to its neck, so I got it. And then I came across a doe with twin fawns, and they were on really the wrong side of the road. The sun, it was like 9 a.m. the sun was up, and they were, I probably got 150 shots of those. Not a one of them turned out. None that I was happy with anyways. They was a little far off, so I was really having to crop really hard on the deal. But anyways, yeah, that's what I'm out doing today on July the 15th. It's now 7:08. So you can see there, it took me about 15 minutes to come down that one road, and now I've turned, and now I'm headed southeast. But this road's gonna turn and head west, and I know that because I've drove it many times. And I did get, there was some hawks hanging out down here. Again, another stubble wheat field. There's some hay bales, there's a creek bottom, and I caught a hawk sitting in a tree. So if you saw those, that picture there, and I'll see if I can bring it back up and post it. But I had to heavily crop that one, as I do most of the subjects that I do. You're going to find out if you're riding around on these gravel roads and stuff, you may find a lot of stuff to take pictures of, but a lot of them aren't going to be very close, so you have to end up cropping. And the Canon 90D really shines in that area. I've been debating about going to mirrorless and buying an R5, but I'm so worried that you know, with the style of shooting that I do, that I'll just be really unhappy with it. And by the time you buy the camera and put a good lens like the RF 100 to 500 on it, going to be about $7,500 if you buy that brand new. And I'm just worried I won't be happy with it because my style of shooting and where I shoot at, my subjects aren't always close. They're really unpredictable, and I'm afraid I'll spend $7,500 and won't be very happy with it. But I guess if I had it in the truck, if I had a close subject, I could grab it and use it, and if I had a far away subject, I could grab my 90D with the 100 to 400 on it. And a lot of times I will put the extender on it, so that's 560 millimeter, and then put that on the crop sensor 1.6, so that's quite a bit of reach. But again, you end up with a lot of soft shots, and you got to have good light to do that. So we got a bean field on my right and a cornfield coming up here on my left. So I really need something on my right to take a picture of where I'm at right at the moment, because I'm headed dead south on this road. So if something's on my left, taking a photo of it, I'm going to be shooting right into the rising sun and just going to white it out. It won't be any good. So the way my luck runs, everything on this short stretch of where it is dead south, that's probably where a subject will be at. Something that'd probably be a hawk or an owl that I really want a photo of, and probably be really close, you know. Your luck work like that? So yeah, 7:11 in the morning, and the only thing I found so far in the last 15-16 minutes is to take a picture of is those hens with the baby turkeys. Yes, probably should have thought about coming down this road a different way, because there's a hawk right there. And just like I said, it was going to be on the east side of the daggone road. He's sitting on a hay bale here. Kind of scared to get any closer. I don't want him to fly before I can get... there he goes. Just hit the buffer again. I'll see if he'll stay there. Oh, there he goes. Keep hitting the buffer. I wish I'd have had my extender on. Well, just like I was saying, I wish I'd have came down the other way. It may work out for me though right here at this spot. I was just crossing that little creek ditch there that's got water in it, and got a line of trees here. So I wish the sun would have been up a little bit, because at my angle here, it might work out with that. But I'll just kind of show you what where I just got pictures of this hawk at, and there it is. You can see the creek bottom. I think it was an immature hawk because he was sitting out there on that hay bale squeaking. Yeah, I could hear him out there squeaking. Anyways, that's what I do and how I do it, guys. Dad burn it. I wish I'd have been a little closer. So see, that's another one of those situations where, now see, I also got a fresh cut hay field here on my right, and anyways, like I was saying earlier, this is the perfect spot to catch birds of prey, or even foxes and coyotes. They're going to be out here hunting around these hay bales, catching mice, or you know, there'll be a lot of snakes and mice like that get caught up in the hay bales, and they'll be out there picking through them bales to get at that type of stuff. So goes some dove right there, but again, it's on my left hand side. The road's now going to turn back to my right. I'll be heading southwest, so that'd be a little better angle to get a photo of something. Wishing I had rethought my route down this road here now, but anyways, that's the route I picked this morning. I kind of mapped out a route in my head today. There's a couple of roads that I haven't been on this week, and that's the direction I'm headed. We'll see how long. I got a Garmin GoPro style. I'm not sure what the name of that Garmin is, but anyways, I got a Garmin, and I'm just going to let it run until it runs out. I'll cut and paste as I need to on it. It's going to get quite long, and y'all don't want to listen to me ramble on for 2 or 3 hours. I'm positive of that. Got my morning Mountain Dew. I have one a day. Done had a half a pot of coffee, so now I'm over to Mountain Dew. So now it's 7:15 a.m. So we've been on the road for 20 minutes. There's a great blue herring here in the water. He's just now taking off, but I could have gotten pictures of him if I wanted another picture of a great blue herring, but I have a wildlife refuge I can go to, and there's a lot of more tame ones there, and you can get right close and get really good photos of them. Be a lot of the white version there as well. So I wasn't really trying to get a photo of him. He was on the right side of the road though. He was off to my right, so that would have been west. Sun coming this direction. He was lit up pretty nice, but it's cloudy, and that gonna have periodic sun, it looks like, here for a little bit. On this road here, there's a little swampland up here that's got a bunch of lily pads and stuff in it. Every now and then I'm able to catch geese or ducks or something like that. Another good spot to catch an owl or a hawk sitting around that thing, where they can pick off a duckling or a gosling or something like that. But I haven't seen the geese or the goslings there this week, so the goslings are probably old enough and they're probably flying by now, so they've probably moved on. Because I didn't see them a few days ago when I come through here. So again, you know, if you guys know where hay fields are and stuff like that, they've probably all been cut now, and a lot of guys have probably gotten the hay off the pasture so it can regenerate, and if we ever get any rain, so they can cut it again. I got a Lespedeza alfalfa field here off to my left, and here actually comes the farmer on his tractor, so put my window up. I don't need his dust coming in the windows here. And the geese are here this morning. They're flopping around because the tractor. Dad burn it. Man, I'm having bad luck here this morning. Meeting other people. Maybe they'll sit there until the dust cloud gets by me. But they're out in the field here this morning. I bet you they fly. The dust cloud's still a-going. There they go. Darn it. Man, I'm not having very good luck this morning. Every time I... Damn it. The price you pay for going out to play. Too much dust still in the air, but you never know. That was a hope and pray type of shot right there. I'm pretty positive nothing's going to turn out on that, but you don't know if you don't pull the trigger. But with the farmer going by, it really got the geese on alert. I was going to go up that road there, but I think I'll just stay on this one. Reason why I was going to go up that way, there was 2 or 3 hawks up that direction earlier this week, like Tuesday, and I wasn't able to get any pictures of those. They were pretty shy and took off before I could let the dust cloud get by me for a photo. And that's what happens sometimes, you know. Like I said, yesterday I had a couple of owls and a lot of hawks, but I just didn't get any photos of them. And the one hawk that I was able to get some photos of, I probably had 300 photos of him. He sat there on that hay bale for a long time, letting me get shots at him. But that hay bale was in a little field that was surrounded by corn, and that corn's really, really tall, and the hay bale was lower than the corn, so the shadows was really shadowing out the hawk. And so the hawk sat there long enough, I was able to go down the highway, turn around, come back and get a different angle there. And I was able to end up with a couple of shots that I was happy with, but like I said, I probably had 300 shots of that hawk yesterday and only had 2 that turned out of it. So again, lighting is everything, and when you're out riding around like this, a lot of it is hope and pray that you're able to get a shot if you find something, you know. But again, you got to up your chances. Drive down the roads of a morning time that are going west and the sun's coming up behind you. And if you're going to be out doing it of an evening time, just reverse that. Drive all the roads that are drive roads that you can head east on and have the setting sun at your back again. All right, well, pretty boring, huh? Just had a couple of little indigo birds fly up in front of me. If I'd have been paying attention, I might have been able to get a photo of them. A little bright colored bluebird. I have gotten a couple of pictures of those this week, or in the last week. But those things, you see lots of them, and they'll be fairly close to a road, because most of the time you see them in the road. Then when they spot you, they fly up and land on a barbed wire fence or a little weed or something like that, and you can get a pretty close picture of them. But they always seem to fly right about the time you push the shutter, so you end up with nothing but motion blur with the little fart. Alright guys, I'm probably just going to shut you off, because I'm just going to keep repeating what I'm doing here. But again, it's July the 15th. It's now 7:25 a.m. so I've been at it for 30 minutes. And we came across some geese, a hawk, a turkey with 3 turkey hens with some poults. So not a whole lot of action. We had the pigeons, didn't we? So, but you know, 2 of those spots I really didn't get to photograph because of interference. And you know, people are headed to work and working, that type of stuff like that. That's why I really prefer morning time, because as you get a little later in the morning, there's going to be less traffic on the road, guys, because most people are going to be at work. There's a little indigo bird again. See if he'll stay. There he goes, little fart. Told you. He flew up on the power line. Probably not going to turn out, because I could tell it was way back. My meter was pushed, wasn't pegging out on the right, but really close. That one probably won't turn out, but I was already committed, gonna get me a picture. Anyways, like I was saying, guys, gonna turn this thing off. I'm just gonna keep repeating myself, but you know, of a morning time is probably my preferred time of going out and shooting, simply because there's going to be less traffic on the road, you know. So at 7:30, you know, going forward, most people have already left home out in the country here if they've got in-town jobs, and they're headed into town to go to work. So the only people I'll run into really going forward now, I may run into some Amish people in this country out on their horse and buggy. They're not going to stir up much dust, or a farmer out checking cattle or something like that, you know. But yeah, maybe they're out feeding hay. It's been so dry, they may be out feeding hay. But my point is, I'm not going to have a lot of interference about this time going on. So I'll drive around till about 9 o'clock. That's a couple hours of taking photographs or trying to get photographs. So anyways, thanks for tagging along with me today, guys. Let me know what you think. Should I rename the channel to the Wildlife Gallery, or you like ISO wildlife photography? When I say it like that, I lean towards the Wildlife Gallery. So anyways, again, thanks for tuning in. Leave me a comment below, like and subscribe as always. So be safe out there, guys, and let me see some of your photographs as well. All right, I just turned the camera back on. Just as I shut the camera off and come around the corner down there, there were 3 hen turkeys out in a stubble wheat field. And so there's 3 more hens and no poults with them at all. So anyhow, another thing I got to thinking about that I've gotten some questions on from other people is, what are the settings I'm using on my Canon 90D while I'm out here photographing the way I photograph. I do run it in manual mode, and I'll start out by setting the shutter speed at 1000, and just starting right off of a morning time, I'll start out at like 5.6, and then I could go down to, well, 5.6 is going to be the maximum aperture at 400 millimeter, and most of the shots I'm going to get out here photographing the way I do it is I'm going to be at 400 millimeter regardless, so it's going to be 5.6. And I do run, I set my ISO maximum up to 3200, and then I'll run it on auto while I'm out here doing it the way I'm doing it, because as you know, the lighting switches every corner and stuff like that, and the wildlife, while you're shooting out of the vehicle, you're just not going to have that much time anyway. So I'm not going to have time to take a look at my histogram and stuff like that, and be able to adjust my my ISO setting, you know, so especially because I don't know what I'm going to run into. You know, it could be a bird of prey, could be a little bird sitting here, could be a turkey, could be deer. I just don't know what I'm going to run into, so I'll run ISO on auto. Now if I'm stationary at a spot, then I'll manage the ISO myself, because I do feel like the camera gets it wrong a lot of times. But again, regardless, this method of wildlife photography that I'm doing from the truck on a gravel road is you just got to take a lot of shots, and a lot of it is spray and pray type deal. So that's why I run it on auto, guys. But I do run manual, because when I look through the viewfinder and when I, you know, focus, I can read my meter. And if you're in a really dark situation or bright situation, your meter's going to be under or overexposed, and then you'll have the opportunity. I can reach right up there on my dial and I can run my shutter speed up or down. And man, this is a rough part right here. You know, again, I'll be able to read my meter and then run my my shutter speed up or down until my meter comes back to center. You know, so if I'm in a really bright situation, I can run that meter down and underexpose that photo and try and get a better photo. So that's the way I do it while I'm out here. It's probably not the correct way of doing it, but it's the way I do it, guys. Anyhow, thought I would share that with you as well. How do you all do it? Now, sometimes I do go to aperture priority, and I've gotten a lot of good shots with aperture priority. It just seems like I have better keeper rate running it the way I do with my Canon 90D and the lens that I have. So that's how I do it. I'm not saying that's how it should be done. I'm just telling you that's how I do it. And anyways, again, yeah, I'm still at it. Got about another hour and a half that I'm going to ride these roads and hopefully get some more hawk pictures. That's probably my favorite thing to photograph, is hawk. You know, unfortunately, a lot of times those things are sitting up on power poles and stuff like that, and it just doesn't give you a very pleasing shot. But again, with the hay bales out there, guys, you're going to find a lot of these hawks sitting on a hay bale and right out of a truck window. That's eye level, and you'll be able to get some good shots. So get out there and give it a try, and again, be safe while you're doing it. Wow, guys, I got to get through this bumpy spot before I start talking. Holy cow, what an experience I just had there. So I just shut the camera off again, and I went to hit this little cut through road to go back out to the highway, and now there's another one there. Well, anyways, I come around the corner and I jump a hawk off of a brush pile that the power line people have just cleared out underneath the power line and piled up. Anyways, it flew up the gravel road, landed on a perch, and I was trying to get some pictures of it, but it was really, really dark in there, and I was all the way down to 1/100th of a stop, the shutter speed to try and get a photo. And as I am, the crazy thing comes off that perch, comes flying right back at me, and lands back on that brush pile. And when it does, I notice there's another one on the brush pile with it. Guys, I literally stood there for 10 minutes taking photos of these birds. I took my lens off, put my 1.4 extender on, and started getting more shots of them. I finally just left the truck running, got out and went walking up the gravel road to them, and I got within 40 yards of these birds sitting on this brush pile. I think I got 1,500, guys, 1,500 pictures. Now I'm gonna try and get another one of a little titmouse bird. He's gonna fly. Anyways, guys, what a crazy deal. Out of all the the trials and tribulations we go through to get a photo of a hawk, and this morning I end up with 2 of them sitting on a brush pile 40 yards from me, and I probably got 1,500 shots of them. They were still sitting there when I walked away. Well, one flew off after about 5 minutes, and they were calling back and forth. But anyways, what an experience, man! I got so many shots of these hawks, and I think they're red shoulder hawk. Anyhow, I'll start going through them after a while after I get home. But I'm telling you, for over 10 minutes I sat there just hitting the buffer on this 90D camera, one after another. I'd have to sit there for a couple of minutes with the camera down. My arms are wearing out, and I'd have to let the buffer and my SD card catch up to my happy trigger finger, that is, my happy finger. So anyways, just wanted to share that with you. What an experience. And I did, well, I think I already told you, I saw 3 more hen turkeys, and none of them had any babies with them. So anyways, what an experience this morning, being able to get shots of hawks. I'll remember that spot definitely, and see if I can't get more later on. But now I got a doe up here standing in a bean field. Man, this is a rough ass road though, I can tell you that. She's on the right side for me to get a photo, but it's just a doe, and I don't see a fawn with her. If she had a fawn with her, I'd get a picture of the fawn, but she doesn't, so I'm just going to continue on, because I took up a lot of time right there with them hawks, and I haven't even made it to the road that I was really excited about going down today, because I've never been down this road that I'm headed to photograph, and it's got a great big long bottom on it, some hay fields, and I'm not sure what it's going to have for crops, because I've not been, last time I was down that road was probably 3 years ago, when I was still in business, and I'd done a heating and air job on a brand new house down that road. So anyways, gonna shut you back off again. I'll get to looking around for something else to shoot, but today's a success already. I got 1,500 shots of a couple of red shoulder hawks sitting on a brush pile 40 yards from me. Full frame in the camera. I had my extender on, 560 millimeter plus the 1.6 crop. Man, if some of them don't turn out, I just may kill myself. That is, not literally, but how disappointing would that be to have 1,500 shots of something and not any of them turn out. But I had so much time after I got over the initial shock of having 2 of them right there 40 yards from me, that I made sure I was hitting the meter just right. I got different shutter speeds of them, all the way from like 100 shutter speed up to 1250. So my ISO was hitting the max that I got it set for on the auto range. Got a couple of coons down here in the road, and it's 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm surprised they're still out and about, but looks like a mama and a baby, and they're not going to stick around for a photograph. They're running now. They have also spotted me. So, all right, guys, I find something else really interesting, I'll turn you back on. Be safe.